News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Lisa Mateo.
Lisa, let's begin with the latest on trade because we are just a day away now from a key meeting between the U.S. and China. The talks will begin in Geneva tomorrow. They'll be led by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng. We get more from Bloomberg News senior editor Derek Wallbank.
I think the magic word is de-escalation. That's what Scott Bessent said that the U.S. negotiators are going to try and come away with, was a de-escalation that could potentially set the frame for future trade talks. And so that's really where I'm sort of watching right now. I'm not looking for this to come out of Switzerland on the high side scenario with a full comprehensive deal or the outlines of what could be one. But what you're looking for is a possibility of seeing concrete steps to kind of take down the temperature in the relationship.
And Nathan, the China talks come after President Trump announced the first framework of a deal in his global trade war with the UK.
The final details are being written up in the coming weeks. We'll have it all very conclusive, but the actual deal is a very conclusive one. We think just about everything's been approved.
President Trump's agreement gives the U.S. increased market access, while the U.K. will see limited relief on auto, steel, and aluminum tariffs. A baseline 10% tariff rate will stay in effect. John Alty is the former Director General for Trade Policy at the U.K. Department of International Trade. He says the deal falls short of a full and comprehensive trade agreement.
It's quite limited in its scope, and obviously both sides are saying that it should be the start of a wider negotiation. So we look forward to seeing that.
John Alty, now a senior advisor at Pagefield, says full trade negotiations typically take years to complete.
Well, Lisa, one U.S. company may be starting to see the benefits of the trade framework with the U.K. Bloomberg's John Tucker joins us with that. Which company, John?
We are talking about Boeing. Nathan, they have an order from IAG, the parent of British Airways, for 32 Boeing 787-10 aircraft. There's also an option to top up the deal with as many as 10 additional Boeing 787s. Now, this does provide a much-needed shot of confidence to the embattled plane maker. IAG is Boeing's largest customer in the UK. Boeing is the largest U.S. exporter of manufactured goods. Now, this has been a target for countries stung by the wide-ranging tariffs rolled out by the Trump administration. China, one of the world's largest aircraft markets, has stopped taking deliveries, and the European Union has proposed tariffs on American-made jets if its own talks with the U.S. sputter. The shares of Boeing got a 3% boost in Thursday's trading. In New York, I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, thank you, John. Well, it was a historic moment at the Vatican.
Habemus Papam.
For the first time, an American is the leader of the world's 1.4 billion Roman Catholics. This morning, the former Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost is celebrating his first Mass as Pope Leo XIV. Leo offered the off-the-cuff remarks at the start of his homily at the Sistine Chapel before the cardinals who elected him.
Not just with me, but with all of us, my brother cardinals, as we celebrate this morning. I invite you to recognize the marvels that the Lord has done, the blessings that the Lord continues to pour out upon all of us.
Pope Leo XIV. It was the first time Leo made public remarks in English. We get more on the Pope from Bloomberg Italy Bureau Chief Chiara Albanese.
He has shown to already say and speak his mind very loudly in the past. He said publicly that Vice President Vance was wrong about his assessment of the Catholic love. So we should expect that bridges will be built on some issues, but also bridges will be tested on some others.
Bloomberg's Chiara Albanese reporting from Rome.
And Lisa, tensions continue to escalate between India and Pakistan. Soldiers exchanged heavy volleys of shells and gunfire across their Kashmir frontier overnight, killing at least 5 civilians. The tensions have soared between the nuclear-armed rivals since an attack last month at a popular tourist site in India-controlled Kashmir left 26 civilians dead. India's blamed Pakistan for backing that attack, an accusation Pakistan rejects.
And Nathan, back here in the U.S., President Trump is looking for a tax hike on millionaires. Bloomberg's Amy Morris has more from Washington.
President Trump is pushing lawmakers to increase tax rates on some of the wealthiest Americans. Sources tell Bloomberg the president's proposal calls for creating a 39.6% tax bracket for anyone earning at least $2.5 million or couples making $5 million. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick tells Balance of Power this will help pay for the president's proposed tax cut.
Remember, he cut it from 39.6 to 37. So if he just goes back to what he did last time, I'm in favor of that. I think it's smart as long as it's a redistribution.
Lawmakers are expected to take up the tax package next week. In Washington, Amy Morris, Bloomberg Radio.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
I'm Lisa Mateo, and this is Bloomberg.